Welcome to On The Bit. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Good, Dave.
That's good, mate. Caulfield Cup day, mate. One of our favourite days of the spring.
It is.
And very excited about Saturday. And there's only one Group 1 to go through, mate, so we'll go through it pretty thoroughly.
Yep.
So it's the $3 million Caulfield Cup, a handicap over 2,400 metres. And so what's your tips in the Cup, mate?
Dave, strong race. Real strong. There's a lot
13
of
Group 1 winners, I think, in the race, yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, well, a lot of horses couldn't actually get a run,
Yeah.
but are pretty highly rated. So, anyway, basically looking at the race, it's always hard to gauge these big handicaps with the internationals because you just don't know what they're going to bring to the table. The horse that I'm selecting on top actually ran second in the Caulfield Cup last year, and that was Rising Romance. I actually think she's a bit of a forgotten horse here. They were jumping out of trees when she flashed home in the Mackay Diva.
Yep.
It was an enormous run. Her first up run was in the, I think the Listen was really good as well. And then she was caught deep in the Turnbull. It was a real no luck. And she was only beaten 3.5 on the line. She's very well weighted again. It took a top horse last year, Japanese horse, to beat her. You know she's going to be suited by the pressure. She's drawn well, so I think she'll roll forward. I think she's a great price at the 11s, so I'm going to take her on top. But I'd say that with caution because I do think if the internationals turn up and like in previous years, well, I think they've got our locals covered. Yep. So Fame Game, I'll probably put him second. I don't know if they want to win because I don't think they want the penalty for the Melbourne Cup, but he still might be too good at the end of the day. Mongolian Khan, you can't discount him. He's weight for age form, sensational. He's obviously a dual derby winner over the 1.5 miles, trained to the minute. So you would have to have him right there. You know, he could win himself, but I have him as third selection. Also, Dave, I know we could go on and keep throwing him in, but a mare that I think for a first four, she's got all the key indicators, and that's Set Square. She's been a last season Oaks winner, on the minimum, 4-year-old mare, good weight for age form, leading into the race. Previous years that sort of held true. I just don't know whether she's got the class to win the race, but for multiples I'll be throwing her in.
Yeah, but I'm pretty much the same, mate. My top pick is Mongolian Khan. I just think his lead-up form for the race has just been without fault. He's had 3 lead-up runs, all at weight for age. He went from 1,600 to 1,800 to last week he went to 2,000 metres, which were all very impressive. He's been no further back than 1.5 lengths in all of his runs. His run last week was probably as good as the winner criterion. He just showed he was on track for this week's race, and he goes into the race with perfect form. He's drawn a perfect barrier in 10. He comes into 7 with the scratchings of the emergencies. He's had 2 starts at the 2,400 for 2 wins and 2 derbies, and they were both ridden by Opie Bossum, who rides him on Saturday. Opie's been wasting for a few weeks, so he's got his weight down to the 55 kilos, so he'll be strong in the saddle on Saturday. I think he'll sit sort of forward of midfield, and I just think only bad luck will beat him. I actually just about declare him as a moral. He's $5 in the 4s now. He deserves favouritism, so he's on the bit. The danger, I think, is Rising Romance as well. I think after the barrier draw, I just think she was perfectly placed. She got barrier 2. Last year she came from barrier, I think it was 20 or something, came across the field at the start and got across to the fence, and then she shot away in the straight. And basically, really, she had that race shot to bits until it was a freak run by Admire Rakti to run her down. So she's got the same weight as last year. She's similar lead up. I think you just got to forget about her last run when she was posted 3 or 4 wide. She was still only beaten 3.5 lengths in one of the strongest Group 1s of the spring. She's had 3 runs at 2,400 for a win in the AJC Oaks, a second in the Caulfield Cup last year, and a second in the New Zealand Derby against the Colts. So she's a real 2,400 metre horse for mine. Yeah, she's the danger to Mongolian Khan. She's $12, $11, so she's the Cronulla horse. Outside of that, Complacent is an emergency, second emergency. I just think if it got a run, it was a huge chance in this race. Drawn to get a run on the pace, and if he does happen to get in, I think you've got to throw him in. Because I don't think they'll actually go too hard in this race too quickly. and he sort of runs from the front, and I think he'll be strong over the 2400 by being by authorised. And his only run at 2400 was in the VRC Derby when he got back to last, and he was actually pretty unlucky to win a couple of years ago against Polanski, so I hope he gets a run. And I thought Fame Game probably needs a 3200. I've watched a few of his replays. He's not going to get warmed up until really the later parts of this race, but he's got an enormous finish on him. But I just think he'll need all of the 2400 to get warmed up. His drawn barrier 1 actually probably is not good for him actually, I think, because he'll get back in the field and might get cluttered up. But that's about the race for me, set square sort of. There's a few for the 4th place, but I'm really centering around Mongolian Calm with Rising Romance to Danger. I really love that Quinella. Stable news, Lenny. What's been happening with stable news, mate?
We had a good result with a little horse for a good friend of mine that Wes Hunter's trains, a 2-year-old that won a trial at Cranbourne by 6 lengths the other day.
Yeah, Bismarck.
Bismarck, he's pretty smart little horse, and
yeah.
We Bluegrass sort of worked that one out, you know, sort of where to go with that horse.
To sell him overseas.
To sell him overseas, trial and that sort of thing, and yeah, so that worked out well. And our little Kiwi horse that's come over, he trialled pretty well during the week as well at Cranbourne, so Galligatus brothers have got him, so...
Oh, good. What's his name, mate?
Unnamed at the moment. Yeah. You have a name next week.
Yep. We've got a couple of runners this weekend. Anina's going... Anina actually ran at Avoca... Anina's running at Avoca this Saturday in a 0 to 58 over 1860 metres. Demolished a similar field last start over 1800 metres, so it should be hard to beat again, although she's drawn barrier 14. 4 emergencies, she comes into 10, but she still has to deal with the outside barrier. And very exciting, mate, Timely Girl, which you picked out for us at the Magic Millions January 2014. Time Thief filly, she runs in a 3-year-old fillies race on Caulfield Cup Day at Caulfield over 1400, race 1 on the card. It's not a listed race, which is strange for Caulfield Cup Day, but it's still worth $100,000, and she's continued to improve this breed. Wes Hunter trains her, and yeah, we're really confident she'll be right in the thick of things on Saturday. She'll race on pace. The rail is out 6 metres for the day, so I expect the front runners to be better suited in the earlier races. So she'll sit right on the pace. She's got Dwayne Don on board, who's just firing on all cylinders at the moment.
Loves Caulfield.
Yeah, he's probably riding the best of any jockey in Victoria at the moment. So a lot of things going for us, and she's $26 each way, so you've got to like that as well. So hopefully she'll win, and we'll have a big day at Caulfield. Best on breeding, Lenny. Who's your best on breeding, mate?
Dave, funny named horse. It's called the Messina Nymph.
Yeah, love it.
Race 10, number 6 in the last year. Is an absolute ripper from South Australia. She was only a 30k purchase from the 2012 English Classic sale by the great sire in Commands, who recently left the Guineas winning filly in Commanding Jewel.
Yep.
Out of a mare who's by the well-renowned broodmare sire Royal Academy, and is a half-sister to the Singapore Horse of the Year and winner of 21 races in YB. So, yeah, some pedigree there.
Yeah, nice one to come home with. One value bet for me, Caulfield Race 5, number 4, Get the Picture. He missed the boat last start in Moonee Valley in the stud stakes. He was out the back, only got out sort of very late in the straight, and the winner was off and gone, but he got going very late, and he actually only got beaten a very short margin. And the short straight at Moonee Valley really didn't suit him. I think he's going to get a better run on Saturday. The 2,000 metres will really help him. I think he's crying out for the 2,000 metres by Excellent Art. I'm not sure if they're known for their stayers, but...
No, not really. He's a son of Pivotal, so he's a sprinting line in the UK.
This one really shows as if he's going to be a stayer, and I just think he's, as I said, crying out for the 2,000. He's $8. I think he's great each way value, and in that race, Ragnar with the Freedmans is a great chance as well. I think he's $7. I really like that Quinella, so you can get on those two, Ragnar, and Get the Picture. On the bit, Lenny, who's on the bit special for this week, mate?
Dave, a mare in race 6 called Fenway. This mare, she's a very good mare.
Yep.
Knocked off first seal over 2,000 in Sydney. She's a Cox Plate hopeful, aiming for the Cox Plate. She really put the writing on the wall for a dominant stock stakes win at Moonee Valley. that race has proved in previous years to be a great form reference.
It has been, yeah.
She's drawn to get a lovely run behind the speed here, and I think she'll be finishing over the top of him. It's only got 2 kilos above the minimum, so it's very well weighted for a Group 3 for a mare who is a Group 1 winner. And I think $4.60 is a great price about her.
I'm on the bit in the same race, mate. Different horse. I'm on the bit with number 2, Dibiani. I just thought his runs have been excellent this spring. His first up, he was 3rd in the Group 2 against Mourinho, only beaten a length. Then he went 2nd up, beaten 1.5 lengths to the cleaner in the Group 2 Fian. And then he ran in the Group 1 Underwood last start. He ran 9th, but he was only beaten 3 lengths. So he's an emergency for the Caulfield Cup. So he's rock hard fit for this 2,000 metres. He comes back to a Group 3 race, and the favourite, I think, Stratum Star, is a bit of a suspect at the 2,000 metres. So he's $6.50. So he's on the bit. So Fenway, Dibiani, Quinella, mate. We'll get some big chocolates again.
That's it.
Off the bit, Lenny. Who are you laying this week?
Lamosty, Dave.
Yep.
Come up equal favourite with Ball of Muscle, who just ran buffering to sort of a, well, 3/4 of a length or a little bit less in Group 1 level. She's drawn wide. I don't think she'll get any favours in the run. Yet to figure like at group level amongst the older horses yet. I think there's more of a let's see where she's at, and she's equal favourite. So I'm prepared to risk her.
Yeah, I'm off the bit now. My off the bit lays have actually all won this spring, I think, and they've all come on and become superstars. Amarella, and there's friggin' heaps of them in the line. But again, I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm going to lay Stratum Star in that race 6, the one that we've tipped on the bit specials. I just think he's backing up from the Group 1 Toorak. I really think he's a doubt at the 2,000 metres. He has run at the 2,000 metres and run 2nd in Alistair Clark. But I think he's suspect at 2,000 metres in a strong form race.
Yep. Thought
he was a little bit suspect at the 1,600, which he got beat last week. He's got to carry 59 kilos. He's off a 7-day backup on a track they thought was very hard last week, and not sure how they'll all come off the week back up. He's $3.50 favourite. I thought he was off the bit. So fantastic day of racing, Caulfield Cup day. Next week's Cox Plate day. Looking forward to it, and we'll see you next week. Good luck.
Good on you guys.